Okay, well, we'll get started. Obviously, looking back on Stanford, disappointing in a lot of ways. I do think that the ability to finish some drives could have changed some things for us offensively. You know, we had some drives where we moved the ball really well, but then didn't either convert fourth down or get any points on the board. And I keep going back to this thing of momentum, and that can change some things. So that was disappointing. You know, I thought defensively we had some contested plays, and the physicality showed up. Stanford, size, strength, some one-on-one plays that didn't go our way. I did think the effort was there. You know, we had some opportunities in the backfield, couldn't get them down on the ground, and so I thought they, continued to play with some effort. It just the physicality showed up, and not in our favor after watching the tape. On to another good opponent, though, for this week. It's kind of a reoccurring theme. Obviously, this place I got a ton of respect for, coaches and players, and so excited about the opportunity for our guys to go up and play in a tough place, beautiful stadium, and all that. And we're looking forward to it. We only got 2 more opportunities, and we've been talking about it as a team, is talking about finishing things, continue to enjoy this process of improving and battling. And these guys, even yesterday, back out there at practice, I thought we had a good vibe, good energy. Sundays are kind of particular for young guys, and we get them a lot of reps, and you started to see a few young guys in the game last week with Irish back out there. Levin Good getting his first time playing. Kipper was out there for about 25 snaps, and so feel good about the direction where we're headed in regards to our work ethic, and we got another opportunity to do it this week.
Just from watching the game, it seemed like Jake was just a little bit off. After you evaluated and watched some video, what did it look like?
A couple of things. I thought the recognition and coverage, they do a good job in their disguise, and so he thought it was one thing and it was really another. A couple of times in coverage that showed up. One time we're running an option route where, the receiver's got an option to where he wants to go. They weren't on the same page. And that hadn't played out a ton this year, but that showed up on tape.
Isaiah Hodgins, he didn't get targeted too much in the game. Were they doing something to take him out, or was it just one of those games where it just didn't work out?
They do play within their scheme some cloud safety over the top, giving some help. That showed up a little bit. I can't say for certain it was a definite game plan of theirs, but he did get clouded more than normal.
Mikey Alfieri got a lot of reps this weekend. What did you see out of his play?
Mikey's been great, man. He's been working hard. He started on the scout team playing running back, and he continued to do some good things. And where we're at injury-wise at running back, got him out there, and I was excited for him. I mean, shoot, his first college play, we go in there and fake a flea flicker, and he runs, and he gets some positive yards with it. And I think we got a bunch of kids like him in regards to the guys who are working hard. They're young and continuing to grow, and I was pleased to get him out there.
Injury-wise, where are you guys at, especially with Matthew Tago right now?
Yeah, I can't see Tago playing this weekend. We'll kind of see how it goes. High ankle sprain. Dwayne needed to come out. He's got a chance this weekend, but we'll know way more at the end of the week. David Morris, I imagine I'm going to get that. He practiced a little bit yesterday, and we'll kind of see how it goes. But again, I'm going to go back. We're not going to just throw the guy out there unless he's totally ready to play.
You talked about kind of the physicality. Is there anything you can do in season to kind of help balance that out, or is that something that you guys really need to focus on in the off season moving into next year? Yeah,
I think in season you continue to try to maintain and work, but most of your gains are in the off season, and some of that is just youth. I mean, you got to get bigger, stronger, which these guys will that are playing.
Couple more players. Reichner didn't play Saturday.
Something toward the end of the week with his foot that we felt like he was probably going to be okay, but he just could not push off on it and get in any explosion. And so we'll kind of see how this week and how it responds.
And then Dunn left the game for a while, but he's okay.
He's good. He was cramping.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I suppose there's talk about going back to Seattle. What just in general, what's that going to be like, you think?
I think it'll be good. I got some fond memories of that place, and so it's a great place to play a football game. I mean, it's a great crowd, beautiful setup. I think our kids will be excited. We got some kids from the state of Washington that are excited to go play back home. So we're looking forward to it.
How is the since the stadium was remodeled, is it any different playing in that stadium than it used to be when you played? Or?
Well, it's definitely different. They took the track out, and so it's gotten a little bit closer to the sidelines for the stands. But the weather's the same, the noise is the same. It can get really loud. You still get some wind in there sometimes, but the track is gone.
What do you? I don't know how much you've watched Washington so far this week, but what are you seeing from Jake Browning? Is he? I mean, he's been pretty heavily criticized this year, and I'm not sure why. What is he not playing as well, or is he having some? Or is it just some team issues? Or
I'm still early in the week, so I haven't seen all of it. What I've seen on tape is that it's typical Jake in regards to competing, making some big time throws, extending some plays. So what I've seen on tape, the guy has found a bunch of ways to make some plays for him. They do some good things, just offensively running the football and can still throw it. So I haven't seen a ton to say that he's not playing well.
Similar situation a couple weeks ago with Coach Lindgren being so familiar with Colorado. Does you yourself being so familiar with Washington, does that kind of give you guys a little bit of an extra edge going into this weekend at all? And what could that maybe look like on the field?
I'm familiar with the place and a lot of those players, but every year is new, and so that they're doing some different things, and everyone grows at a different pace, and so not being there the last more or less 12 months, it's a little different. I don't think it's any kind of advantage, just because I'm familiar with them, and there's not a ton of weakness over there. I mean, especially on the defensive side, and so sometimes that can be almost crippling, knowing how good they are, and then you watch them on tape. So I don't see any advantage.
You said no advantage, but is there a little extra incentive to win over there?
I think you try to win each week and play well each week. This thing takes place quite a bit in regards, especially this conference, of like coaches having connections at other places, and so it's not just hey, this week we need to play well because.
Coach, how good when you look at Washington's record, and they struggled against Cal, but it looks like a lot of teams are. Could you maybe talk about Cal's defense, how good that is?
I think Cal is good on defense, and I was actually able to catch like the last little bit of that SC game while we were getting on the plane. Those guys have improved and played physical. I think they're one to work with. Like I was even talking to David Shaw briefly before our game because they're headed to play Cal, and we had talked about how much they've improved, and they're physical and sound on defense.
And Washington and their defense, and how good is that group and the secondary? I mean, is it as good as there is in the league? What do you make of their play?
I think so. I think as good as there is in this league, and I think the secondary gets a lot of attention, and it's well deserved. But they play 11-man football over there on defense now. I mean, that defensive line squeezes the pocket, handles a lot of the run game. They got the leading tackler in the league. Ben Burr is a big-time player, and so they're good.
The run game for both teams, when Gaskin is going and Jamar Jefferson has another 100-yard game, how important for offensively, philosophically for you there in Seattle when you were there and now running the football?
Yeah, it's just vitally important, I think, in every game. And so that makes us way more efficient, forcing people to defend the run game and the pass game. And I think it's generally the same for everybody. If you can run the ball, you can control a lot of things. And so we got a big-time challenge this week with Miles, who I think is, if not maybe the best back in this league, and he's back to being healthy. So it's a big-time challenge.
Are you seeing different reactions after the game to losses? Was last Saturday any different than others, or guys seem to be taking them harder?
I don't think I've recognized major differences. I mean, there's some extreme disappointment. And, because I think we go into these games feeling optimistic that we can really do some things, and when it doesn't go our way, it's painful. And, I mean, again, for us in this building, the work that's getting put in, these guys are into this thing, and so it's tough after losses.
After, you've got 8 of them so far, are you surprised that the enthusiasm is still pretty high?
Yeah.
What are you doing to keep?
Well, I credit our coaches. I really do. And I credit a lot of our older players in regards to echoing the message of the coaches, because it is hard after eight tough ones to keep on coming back to work. That's why I keep going back to respecting this group, appreciating this group, because they're continuing to work.
I was going to also ask you, today is Veterans Day. Do you have anybody close to you involved that's a veteran that, you know,
Both granddads of mine were served, and those are the closest. Yeah.
lots of story to tell you stories? Or,
Well, unfortunately, both of them passed when I was young, and so I'll kind of get off script here. But so I got two sons. Both of them are named after both my granddads because they passed when I was about 6. My granddad on my dad's side passed away on Highway 34 right out here when I was 6.
You talked about finishing these last 2 games. What do you hope to see from your guys these last 2?
I hope to see continued improvement on the individual side. Each individual guy continue to work. Again, I got a long-term approach in regards to improvement over year 1 to year 2 to year 3. And I think the best way to get that accomplished is the day-to-day improvement and continue to play with great effort and improve at this thing. And so, yeah, we got some seniors. They got 2 games left. And so we want to work and compete for those guys, but also for individuals who are going to be around here for the next couple of years. That's what I want them to continue to work and improve.
Can you touch on your relationship with Coach Peterson a little bit and what he's taught you coming into this position?
Yeah, a ton of, obviously respect. 6 years with him, learned a lot about just direction and vision and how you treat people and mapping out a plan and staying consistent to it. So learned a lot from him. Just anytime you're going to spend with 6 years with a guy. But not only just him, like they got some big-time coaches over there that are assistants that are still close friends that I got respect for.
And one other thing, Coach, on Jake Browning, when Coach Lindgren went back, he was asked a lot about Steven Montez. Steven had great things to say about Coach Lindgren and vice versa. What were your thoughts about working with him through the years and the time you spent with him? What your regard of Jake Browning? Yeah,
it was awesome. Because the guy, he loves to grind, he loves to work, compete. I think he's really sharp. I thoroughly enjoyed it, watching him go out and battle. I think some of the things you enjoy the most is not all just football. Some of the times you're sitting there watching film and you're talking life, and it does help that his dad was a graduate of this place, so that always will keep us tied. We got to get Ed coming back here after this game.